improved Set 5 Super 17 leader, playing against Perry Thomas, who will be playing against Krillin. I believe he is using a yellow-blue variant, most likely related to Storm. Super 17 here being a very unique, interesting label. Leader of choice here. We'll see that Danny's on a mono green list that runs some of the newer cards from Set 5. Very excited to see how it plays out against this matchup. I know talking to Danny recently, he's a little bit concerned that this isn't the most favorable matchup for him. But we'll see how comfortable Perry is. I believe there's a lot of cards in this deck that he may not be too familiar or updated with. Hey stream, we're gonna get these names updated here in just a little bit. Having a couple brief issues here, but we'll get this caught up in just a sec.
All right, do we know who the... It's which one?
So, looking here on to, as a good evidence of, we have Perry, not being too familiar with this leader. We see him reading the card just to understand what the leader does. So it's maybe one of those matchups where matchup and experience may play a factor. Don't worry, everybody. We're updating names and records here in just a little bit. Both of these players won their round one. So Danny's on the left here, and then Perry Thomas is on the right using...
Did Danny lose this match? I think he did. Oh. So Danny's on the left?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah, so trying to decide here between Set 2 Android 17 and the new Super 17, there's definitely some pros and cons. Android 17 not being able to draw before Awaken, which puts you in a situation where you can be very limited on what you can do in the early game. On the flip side, the Android 17 leader can draw, or Super 17 can draw every single turn of the game. And then Untap 2 is actually what makes this matchup a little more tolerable than just your standard Android 17 list, like the ones that we may have saw at the Latin Championship. How many total players and rounds are there? I believe we are having a 9-round event today, and we hit a little over 400 players. It'll be very exciting to see how everything turns out. So we see here Perry playing a second Bardock the Progenitor, leaving him with a yellow and a blue. My suspicion, if he's comfortable with this matchup, is he's going to do everything reasonable he can to push early without getting overly punished by one of his extra cards. Android's having 3 different options in the extra card slot right now. The new and improved Shocking Death Ball doubles as an awakening tool, as well as a way to pick off...
Is it 4 life on Krillin?
Correct. Looks like Krillin's at 4.
So 4 to 6?
I believe so. So as I was saying, Shocking Death Ball being a way to blow up 2 costs or less, which could punish a play like this, where it's negate the Go-10 attack and then blow up the second Go-10. Full Pirate Energy, also fulfilling a similar role without being able to hit 2 costs. And finally, Sneaky Surprise Attack, which is able to destroy a 3 costs or less, while simultaneously forcing you into a discard. So it's hard to figure out which one makes the most sense there. So we see on Perry's attack, he is untapping a blue here. Looks like he's going to try to extend his play a little bit.
Okay, guys, we're back. Got Mr. Richard Zapp here, keeping you guys company while we were trying to get stuff situated. Sorry, guys. We actually did a reset here, so they actually did a room reset. Got stuff situated here in the room. Got made a little more comfortable for players, which is fantastic. And we have 2 powerhouse players here, like Mr. Richard Zapp said. We have Danny Hype on the left and Perry Thomas on the right. Super 17 versus Krillin.
Crazy stuff.
It's pretty good stuff here. Super 17. Danny going to 4 life. I'm gonna try to switch life, guys. You know how that works out. So we're gonna see how fast I'm gonna be. So how's the matchup progressing here? We have Storm versus Super 17. What's the key matchups here?
So,
what is the cards Danny are looking for to be able to survive?
So Shocking Death Ball is absolutely going to be the newest card to the format that is going to punish these Go-10s, being able to negate one and blow up the other. Decreases the value of the Storm, stops their progression. The new Deadly Defender Android 18 is going to be another fantastic card, and stopping these 10k aggressions. Having to discard additional cards in order to meet up on the combo is very advantageous.
Yeah, we see a couple cards that I'm actually kind of surprised in Danny's list. Number one in energy right now is the ultimate pack cell.
Vol replication cell.
Yeah, that's a card that I didn't expect to see too much in the list. I feel like the Android lists are so convoluted now. There's just so many good cards. It's hard to kind of fit these niche cards in.
Right.
So why do you think this card might be in Danny's list?
So the one of the biggest problems with the Super 17 deck is whenever you're swinging with your leader, you're constantly milling, and those mills can involve milling your 5 cost and your 7 cost cells.
Okay.
So eventually you get to a point where you can't even fully resolve your cell chain. What Vol Replication Cell does is it helps patches that.
Okay.
So not only can you go 3 cost cell into Vol Replication, but you can also go 3 cross into Increasing Evil, and while you're looking with your Increasing Evil, if you don't see you have any perfect form cells, then you can go Increasing Evil into your Vol Replication.
Sure. So what you're saying is you can go 3 drop into 5 drop, normal 5 drop,
Right.
and then once you put the 18 under to go to your 7 drop, if you don't find any, you can just go, okay, well, I have a backup plan. I have another 5 drop. I draw 2, so I don't neg, and everything's fine.
Correct. And in this matchup, that's really valuable. If he was to do that play right now, he'd be able to use those 2 tokens to attack the Videl and attack a Goten.
Oh, sure.
And
yeah.
that would do a great job of trying to even out the board state.
One card I'm surprised. I mean, well, I would say I know it's in the deck, but one thing I think it's maybe a downside with Super 17, and you can see what your opinion is on this, is that you can't play Deadly Defender 18 on 2. You have to wait till 3, which is when you want to cell chain, and so it becomes this weird, kind of conflict. Which one is better?
Right. At the same time, usually against the Storm deck, you'd rather have an untap 2 before an untap, or before draw 2.
Absolutely.
In this matchup. So you miss out on that power play, but you gain another one.
Right.
A play
Sure.
like this, where he's going to be able to untap 2 energy, and if he's sitting on cards like Unbreakable or Shocking Death Ball or Full Power Energy, he's going to be able to stay in this game for at least one more turn.
Sure. Which is really important in this deck, right? This deck is wanting to use the new promo, the new Tournament Pack promo, and essentially take you to 0 cards in hand.
That is correct. That card also being fantastic in Shenron. I'm looking forward to seeing how much spice we see of that throughout the format.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm not very good with this the card here, but we'll see if we can get
Sign up for draft box number 3. Please
this
limit
card
your
up.
service. Your event is ready to start. Draft box number 3.
If you run Cell Chain, just don't burst. So the problem with that is, so when he swings with his leader here, Unawakened, so he has the choice to mill 2 cards, and if he does, he gets to draw a card. So if he doesn't mill the 2 cards and risk milling his cell pieces, he doesn't net the draw off of his leader. So in a lot of situations, it's one of those moderate risk but high reward in being able to net advantage, as well as building additional pressure to his battle cards. So it looks like we perfect for Cell. I'm going to guess Danny doesn't have too much of a follow-up here. Perhaps he could play the Dark Temptation Toa, which would have nabbed an additional card, but...
Yeah, so this is the card we're talking about. This is the new Tournament Pack promo card, and I want you to talk a little bit about this, Richard, because I think this is a key part of what Danny is trying to do in his game plan.
Right, so Super 17, the Infernal Machine, what it does is whenever you play it, you have the option of discarding 2 cards. So in this deck, it often becomes your larger cell pieces, your 110s that you can't afford to combo with. But you discard 2 of them, and then your opponent has to discard 2 cards as well. So after a cell chain, being able to resolve a card like this would easily bring parry down from 3 cards to 1 card. Put that in tandem with a star card at 17 or a Dark Temptation Toa, hands vaporated immediately.
Right. And what's really cool is you can set it up to where you can play this, the precursor to this on turn 3, turn 4 cell chain, then evolve into this, and then Toa, and then all of a sudden they have no hands.
Correct. The other interesting thing about the Super 17 is his attacks can't be negated. So if he was to try to go for lethal right now, and he had a Super 17 on board, they couldn't utilize Flying Nimbus right away, which can be very big against Storm matchups. One thing I think we're also seeing is the extra draws that Krillin gets is going to allow him to slowly recover faster from a cell chain, opposed to a Rudigarn, who can draw cards at the risk of discarding cards, but can't get as many cards as quickly.
Right, absolutely. Let's see what Perry decides to do here. It looks like he's trying to figure out.
Draft box number 3, your
Jordan
event
is
is
going to be
ready
a
to
yellow
start.
energy.
Please come to
If
customer
he charges the blue
service.
here, that's
Tyler,
evident that he
Perry,
may
Josh,
have
and
a bad hand at this
Omar, all
point.
3 of you, 4 of you.
Yeah, the
Draft
idea was
box
2 yellow and a
number
blue
3.
at turn 3 here. There's the yellow, but he had to use a Goku. That's 2 Gokus actually in energy. That's a lot of attackers down for Perry.
And I don't think Perfect Force Cell was gonna leave the board by.
Oh, I don't think so either. Yeah. And honestly, Danny's showing King Vegeta surprise attack energy up as well, so Perry has to be a little concerned if he attacks into it with anything other than his leader here. 15,000 into 15,000. Krillin into Super 17. Let's see what he decides to do here. It looks like if he's comboing or not.
So I see a Senzu being in Perry's hand. Haven't seen any real battle card threats, so he may be relying on his leader draw to get an extra card. King Goomba, if you're going to play today, what would you play? You know, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I would play the most boring vanilla yellow blue Harudegarn list possible.
that you can put together.
No, my list actually ran 1 copy of the blue 1 cost pan from World Martial Art Tournament, and that would allow me to be in situations where I had a blue and a yellow. I play the blue to play the pan. I try to go for lethal. I still have my yellow for the battering, and then I go Unyielding Trunks, FTC, and try to go for game that way. But other than that, it would be a pretty similar list to what we see Perry here, just with the Harudegarn leader over Stormfish Krillin.
Yeah, so we have Perry just playing Scientist Fu now, 25,000 double strike. Danny's still at 3 life. If Danny has a Sparking Death Ball here, this wouldn't be too bad of a play here to be able to kill, stop this attack and kill the Videl. Now, would you take a life here, or would you just pay for the energy?
Would I take the life here? I think you have to, because you're going to get threatened so much by, if he has any more Dynasty Gokus in his hand, that being able to threaten lethal is probably too intimidating. So we see Perry digging for the battering laser, hoping that he can stop the negate when he swings here for lethal.
Yep. No yellow open, though. Gonna be... Alright, so this is up to...
Danny looking in a rough spot here.
35, 40, 50. So this is 50 double.
If that's all it is, Danny might be able to combo out of that, but it's going to be close.
50s...
So Danny actually at 3 life. I thought it was a 2, but I see looks like a...
No, it's 3 life. Yeah, so he can take this hit, which... So did Danny combo out of this? Oh, no, it was into cell.
Oh.
It was in the cell.
You tried to kill the cell.
Yeah.
Wow.
He got the cell off the board, too.
Very bold.
Okay. I think that's very... we can learn a lot from that play. Because apparently didn't think he could go for game there. All right, Danny getting untapped with 3 life and 4 energy here.
No, I don't know if Danny says plays or not, but if he had a Furthering Destruction Champa here, being able to swing with the 17 leader and then go up to 25k critical, that might be enough on its own to seal this game up. Not sure if he has it or not, but that would be a pretty clutch play right now.
All right, so Danny attacking Mass Saiyan 5k and a 15k here. We'll see if he takes a life. If he does, I wonder why. Like maybe he's looking for something. Maybe he's trying to dig for something here, trying to end the game. I'm not sure. See how many cards are in Perry's hand here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 cards.
Seems like it. Right, because he ended the turn with 4 and then drew an additional
Actually,
card.
6. So he has 6 cards in hand. It looks like.
So Danny picking up life here, that says to us that he thinks that he can't survive another turn. So he's probably going to try to close the game out right now, and I won't be surprised if he scoops up his cards if he doesn't close it out.
Okay. Ooh, Perry takes it and goes to 2.
Scary.
A lot of ways for Danny to close out the game at 2.
Android 20 Vault Creator. That is actually a card that Danny and I were talking about extensively last night. I love the synergy with it, with the twin brother and twin sister, 17 and 18 combo. That Vow 20, that 20 Vow Creator is a very unique card, and that it gives the double strike for the entire turn. Meaning that if you can find a way to dual attack or to attack multiple times with your androids, it's going to be a double strike multiple times. and that's a unique characteristic of that card that Furthering Destruction Champa doesn't have.
Remember, too, the thing about this card that Danny is now playing is that you can Union Absorb from the discard, which is very unique to this chain.
Correct.
So here it comes.
So what's going to happen? He might actually try to get that Infernal 17 there. Because Infernal 17 can go for lethal without being negated.
Right.
So he's going to discard the 2 most dead cards in his hand.
Yeah, guys, we have Infernal up on the screen there, but it's permanent. This card cannot be negated. Double Strike. When you play this card, you may choose 2 cards in your hand and place them in your drop area. If you do so, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand and places them in their drop area. Pretty good. Yes, guys, this is Richard Zapp with me on this round. Marcus was working hard fixing the stream for you guys, which he pulled off. He did a fantastic job. So this great stream quality is all due to Marcus.
What a legend.
And we'll have him back next round.
So 2
Yeah,
and 2.
both at 2. I'm sorry, guys. I am terrible at life. This is a known fact.
So what we're probably going to see here is this 20 is going to go in for lethal. Ooh. He actually drew
Players
the
that
Vile
sign up for
Replication
win box
and
number
20.
3, your event is ready to start.
So he
please
might
come to
just
customer
go
service
all
win
in
box
right
number
now.
3, your event
Yeah,
is
and this
ready
is
to
with his
start.
leader. Let me see if I can pull him up.
Leaders are tough.
Yeah.
5 jump.
So here you go, 15, 25. Oh, and he takes it.
I think it's
Danny wins.
Got it. Got game 1. It's a 1-drop though, right?
Vow replication?
Android 20.
Yeah, was it a 1-drop or
No,
how
it's,
much?
it's a Vile.
Is it 2? Maybe it's not called Vile Replication. Maybe it's
It's Vile.
Vow replication is the ultimate box cell.
Vile Creator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So Danny hype.
There it is. This is the card we're talking about, guys. Now, this is a sick card for the Androids deck, and it's one of the newest cards. I love this card so much. It's a 2-cost, 10,000 attacker, which you're not going to attack with it.
Right.
But it has 1 plus 5,000 combo power to give your card Double Strike. Now, that might not seem as good as Champa. A lot of people say that. But the important thing to remember is that in its text, it says choose up to one of your attacking green Android cards. It gains an additional 5,000 power and gets Double Strike. So essentially, it's the same thing as Champa. But it's searchable with so many tools in the Android deck that it makes it very consistent.
Right, and as I was saying, because the Double Strike is for the full turn, if he was to pump, say, a Deadly Defender Android 20, the Deadly Defender Android or 18, Deadly Defender Android 18 attacks for 20k, and then you use the Android 20, pump it up 30k Double Strike. Then afterwards, you play Android 17 Twin Brother. That could untap the Deadly Defender, and you can swing again for the 25k Double Strike a second time. Very powerful play.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that. Now, how are we reading this Infernal?
So what I was saying is, unlike Champa, which is only for the duration of the battle, Android 20 Vile Creator, the Double Strike.
Oh, it's for the
entire
turn. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So whenever you combo that with Android, the Twin Brother series,
Yes.
lets you attack multiple times with the Double Strike.
Absolutely, which is sick. That's true. That's something actually completely missed on the card. Yeah, so that's why Richard Zapp is here, because he is the master of the cards. But yeah, I actually completely forgot this. Now, if you're Perry, you're up against this funky Super 17 deck.
So we know.
What do you
he's-
sideboard?
So he's definitely going to be on the play here. I'm changing my overwhelms. If I'm running any mirrors in my main deck, those are going into the sideboard.
Okay.
And I'm either going to bring in additional copies of Scientist Fu, so I can recover post Cell Chain, or I'm bringing in Dimension Banisher Fu as a way to remove the 7-cost cell from the game.
Absolutely. Also, guys, you guys in chat brought this up, and that is absolutely true. Almost 400 viewers already, guys. This is round 2. Now, it's pretty common for us to get 400 or 500 viewers in the finals of an event, but 400 in round 2,
But round 2,
not even noon yet, is fantastic.
very exciting.
So thank you guys so much for your love and support, guys. Honestly, we could not do this without you. Please, guys, follow the Dragon Ball Super Card Game channel here. Give Bandai your love, your support, guys. They went all out for this event. It is a beautiful here, by the way. We have giant screens up. We have freaking cards everywhere. We got posters. It's nuts.
It's huge. There's a giant. The stream is on a big projector board, so everybody can watch.
It is so cool. It is so cool. I'll tell you one thing that was really neat that's never happened. I've played a lot of card games. I've been behind the scenes in a lot of events. And I'll tell you, we set up yesterday, and the event staff for the convention center was walking around taking pictures of the banner. They're like, oh, we love Dragon Ball, man. They were taking pictures of it. It's just Dragon Ball is such an awesome IP. And it's so cool that our game not only has a strong IP with Dragon Ball, but also just plays amazing. Like, it's just such a fun game to play. And I think those two combinations is what makes this card game, in my opinion, one of the best out there.
Absolutely. And I think the development team, I'm always amazed by how much work and effort they put into making this the best experience for players that they can. So tomorrow we're having a Gunslinger event, which is a best of one event. It's going to last 10 rounds. We just learned a couple hours ago that some of the Bandai development team are actually going to compete in that event.
Oh my goodness!
So people are going to have an opportunity to play for a few hours against the developers
That
of
is
the game.
sick. Well, guys, I might not be here tomorrow. I'm gonna go play. I don't have a deck. Can I borrow yours? That's awesome. That's super cool. And actually, one of the coolest things that happened at Origins was one of the designers of the game came and they played against George. And it was just such they got a huge crowd.
Right.
People were surrounding watching. It was so cool. And he actually won.
He did.
Which was fantastic.
I
right.
recall it was a very spicy play. I don't remember the details of it.
Yeah.
George was really impressed with the logic behind it.
Yeah. Well, essentially, I think George had the 7-drop Frieza that was shutting him down, and so he essentially charged all of his cards and combo with the cards that would kill him, and you use that to kind of to his advantage, which is so cool. And I'll tell you, coming from a game design background, it's a lot of times hard to play your game when you're designing it, right? That's what the R&D teams for. That's what your play testers are for. As a designer, you're working on rules and you're working on the next sets and stuff. And a lot of times you can, get into that loop of design where you don't actually get to play your game. And these designers are not in that. They apparently play all the time, and it shows. I mean, they're fantastic players.
100%. Yeah. So unfortunately, Marcel was not able to make it to this event. I have heard through the grapevine that he was planning on playing Janemba Leader. He was going to play the Mill Leader.
You was going to play Mill?
For this format. Yeah,
I thought maybe he might go classic and just bring out set 1 Vegeta. I just feel like it
I
all started here. I'll finish it here,
I had a feeling in my gut. But no, I heard he was playing a very spicy blue Mill list. Didn't run the 1 or 3 drops from what I've heard. I heard a player is playing the deck in his Steed. We'll see if that comes to fruition.
Absolutely. Obviously, Marcel not being able to make it is super unfortunate. He was one of our top 10 players to watch that we had up. Yeah, just a fan in the running of Player of the Year with Danny. Just a fantastic player.
100%.
All right, so Perry's starting things off with Bardock. I like this play turn 1 for Storm. They can't attack the first turn, but they get to set their board up a little bit, get a preemptive attacker in, get a dig a little bit.
Correct. So something I'm going to expect from Danny is if he's aware that this is his worst matchup, and my feeling is he is, hopefully he sided into some blue cards. I would love to see cards like Sensu Bean and Group Leader Pilaf interrupting this aggressive Storm deck. We'll see if that comes to fruition. I know that was something that was on his radar, but I don't know if he actually fit in his 15 or not.
Yeah, Danny just going Energy Pass, by the way, getting stuff set up for his turn here. Something that you commonly see versus Storm. Energy, do nothing. If I tap out, I might die, so I have to play super defensively.
Correct. I think you articulated it well when you said the Storm deck makes itself lose. You just have to decide if you have enough cards to stop the Storm deck
from winning. Right. Which is traditional aggro. I mean, coming from other games, that's usually how the aggro decks work, right? They burn themselves out. One thing that's very different in our game than other games, though, is you draw a lot of cards in this game. And a lot of the times, how you beat aggro is you just let them run out of cards. Our game, it's really hard to run out of cards. So you have to just survive, right? You just have to beat the combo.
So what we saw there was that Shocking Death Ball in full effect. When he attacked with the Bardock, he got hit by the Shocking Death Ball, which stopped him from continuing his swap chains.
I love that too. One of my favorite things to do, and there's a lot of different things you can do with Shocking Death Ball. He could have countered the Bardock and killed the Goku, for example, but I love just getting those Bardocks out, especially since he has one in energy. Mm-hmm. So now you have 2 Bardocks going.
Exactly.
Right. So you're already halfway, up the hill at least,
Mm-hmm. So if Perry is well versed in this matchup, he's going to be attacking as much as he can this turn. I would not be surprised to see him awaken, but it's probably contingent on him having another access to Bardock.
Right. The idea is with these untapped 2 leaders is you want to try to make them awaken on your turn.
Correct.
And not on their turn, if possible.
So
Bardock number 3. Unfortunate for Danny, but it's okay. Perry down to 3 life, though.
Something interesting, though, is if he goes down to 2, Danny can actually threaten lethal with his leader.
Yep.
He can awaken with the leader and go 15k double strike with his tech Android 20. As I said, opposed to a traditional Storm deck, I think this matchup is going to be a little more favored for Perry because he can recover so well from the Cell Chain. But in my experience with this matchup, the game may not even last long enough for Danny to make that play if he wanted to.
Right. All right, Goten coming in, 10,000 and 10,000. Great card for Perry right now. Gets the pressure Danny and still gain him a card. Danny's going to snap take that and go to 4.
Not seeing any blue cards in Danny's side.
All right, well, that's it for Perry's turn, so not too bad for Danny.
Probably sitting somewhere in the realm of 7 to 9 cards.
Looks like Danny does have maybe one Sensu Bean near the end of his bottom of his deck there, or hand.
So he did get to the blue, which is very important for him. The question, though, is he just going to...
Just pass? I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Nah, if he swings with his leader and sits on 2 energy?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Droid's going first has a very good chance. You know, we saw that with Danny round 1. He was able to resolve the Cell Chain, and Perry had to prioritize his energy on destroying the Perfect Force Cell. And because he was able to do that, Danny was able to pull it out. You know, Dependable Dynasty Goku, I think, is another card that, since the Legendary Flute has been banned, has really defined these Storm decks.
No, absolutely, yeah. No, absolutely.
And what it does is it allows you to play 3 to 4 copies of Successor of Hope, which, because you're able to tutor it, if you already have the Grandpa Gohan or the Bardock the Progenitor in your hand, you're able to quickly either fetch the Bardock or fetch the Goku, whatever piece you're missing, to extend your aggressive plays, while simultaneously running 3 to 4 copies of
Ooh, Danny has
Successor
Mass
of Hope to
Saiyan.
increase your consistency. Oh, that's going to be huge.
That's
here.
huge. That clears his board. Crusher Ball. Okay. I think that's an okay trade for Danny. I don't think Danny minds that. I kill your board and get a card out of your hand. Though the card is pretty useless for Perry otherwise. It's still not bad.
Right.
Very good answer for Perry, but doesn't put Danny in a terrible situation.
And the benefit to Danny playing Stout-Hearted Android 16 is he doesn't have to worry about how many cards he has in his discard to resolve his super combos. He's able to Sparking right now if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Or he's able to play a super combo right now if he wanted to, rather. So we go into the scary turn 3.
Now, do we know what super combo Danny runs? Does he run 16?
He does one Stout-Hearted Android 16.
Okay, awesome.
So Perry doing the historic yellow, blue mana line that we expect this Stormfish Krillin deck to run.
So this is so you can get a hold of me in the future match area or anytime. So you can be like, transition's done, or if you just need me
So
anywhere.
we see that he plays the Sparking Super combo, which means that he can resolve that regardless of his life. Yeah, no, we'll look into see what we can do about that background music here in just a little bit.
Oh, couldn't they hear music in the background or something?
They can. You know, the big thing I'm seeing from Perry right now that usually makes this matchup a lot scarier is we've seen 0 copies of Haru Haru. That card usually means the ban of Green Leader's existence.
Well, that's one thing we talked about is that, you brought up to my attention and we talked a little bit about it on the phone, was that, with sideboards being more limited now, it's a lot harder to fit like Haru Haru on your board and stuff. But I do think that, I think players should have been expecting androids. So I think Haru Haru is probably an okay sideboard card. But another thing that's kind of hurts Haru Haru against these android decks is just Deadly Defender 18. King Vegeta Surprise Attack. It literally shuts Haru Haru's down. You know what I mean?
That it does. Oh, thank you for the correction, yeah. So Supreme Kai is in this new category of less than 4 super combos.
Yes. It's not, yeah. The Sparking combo is the Gohan.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So the benefit to this new super combo is you're able to play it even if you don't have 4 life or less, and still able to get a 10k pump from
Ooh,
it.
Danny going just straight for the Cell Chain here. I love it. Because he can untap.
Wow, this could be backbreaking here.
Now, what do you think about which Android leader is the best? Do you think Super 17 is the preferred one, or do you think the Androids are the better? Set 2 Androids? Like, which one do you think is better?
So my experience is that in all but one matchup, Set 2 Android 17 is the better leader.
Okay.
And it is a leader that we would not be surprised to see multiple copies in Top Cut. Through the pros that I've talked to, it is not a favorite to win this event.
I agree.
But I think it's a favorite to top the event.
We actually talked about that after round one. Me and you both talked about. We don't think it's going to win, but we do think it's like if you want to top the event, I think it's a safe choice.
Correct.
But I think players they know how to play it. They've been playing against the cell chain since Set 2. It's his nationals. They're not going to come here being surprised by the cell chain.
They have. So on the flip side here, I think the Storm matchup is the one matchup where you do want Super 17. In my experience with the two decks, you're able to play around Deadly Defender 18 in the normal Android deck just by keeping them at 5 life. So that way you don't get the pump with the Android 18 and it stays at 15k. And you're able to easily beat it down and then take them from 5 to 0.
Right.
Where if you took them to 4, it would start at 20k and you lose more cards in the process.
Ooh, Danny passing.
He is. So he did not take the critical leader
Something
swing.
Danny could have done that turn is actually just attack with his cell and then use 2 super combos and lock his opponent to 1 card in hand. And if he takes it, he goes to 2. And he goes to 1. I'm sorry, Perry goes to 1, but he can't play Bardox anymore.
Correct.
So it could, maybe stop Storm from progressing the board state. Perry going to go with Scientist Fu here. And using Successor here to probably get Goku's, if not a Grandpa Gohan. That's your only really 2 targets. And there's the Grandpa Gohan.
So I believe we are sitting at 5 cards in hand for Perry. 4. I believe 5.
Yeah, 5 cards in hand. Honestly, not that scary against Storm. I mean, Storm attacking me with 5 cards in hand, that's much better than, like, what is it, 50? That's how many they usually have in hand. So.
Correct. However, what is important to note is we do not have 5 cards in the discard pile here, meaning that Danny cannot play the Shocking Death Ball for free right now.
Right. Now, has he awakened yet? He has, right? I think I see foil on the side. Okay. This mic's kind of in my way a little bit, but.
So we're going to see him. He does have the Shocking Death Ball. So we're going to see him overextend the combo here a little bit.
Ooh, to Shocking Death Ball.
Just to turn on the Shocking Death Ball live. Bringing him from 2 cards. See, he combos
That's actually perfectly to 5.
3 cards exactly.
Yep. Which, if I'm Perry,
I would have comboed it a little bit higher to make a 6th card.
Sure, or just know that it's coming. Like, he went straight to 5 and dropped. That's convenient.
Exactly.
See what Danny decides to do here. Now, there comes Grandpa Gohan. I don't expect Perry to actually attack with this card.
And we're not going to see him play any more Bardox right now because going down to 2 with 30k.
Oh, that's it. He just passed.
Danny looking in a powerful position here.
Oh, yeah. This is a great position to be in against Storm.
What I'm curious to see
You got to
here
untap
is,
with your cell in play. Ooh, and you stayed at 4 life.
I wonder if Perry ended up siding in Flying Nimbus.
Ooh, maybe. That's not bad.
If he did ended up siding into Siding Nimbus, I would love to see him find a way to get that Infernal Android 17 that we've seen so much of.
I'll tell you, if Danny can get a Deadly Defender on board right here, this might just be game. Now, Danny attacking first of his leader. He is playing into Flying Nimbus here, though.
That is risky.
That is very risky. Going 15,000 to 15,000. Taking a look at his job. Now, let's get the leader up here. I want to try to pop this leader up here, guys, so we can talk a little bit about the leader.
Definitely.
It's a leader that's I'm not too familiar with.
So what is important to note here is Danny does need to find a way, even if this attack does go through, Danny needs to find a way to destroy the Grandpa Gohan, or else that blocker is just going to eat up the 30k double strike, and this game will be far from over.
All right, guys, so the Super 17, I'll pop it up here on the, but I can't show you guys the Awakened side, unfortunately. But what I want to talk about on the Awakened side is it has Sparking 5. This card attacks, it draws a card, and gets critical.
Right.
So that's pretty huge. If he can combo in with critical here, which is what he's doing, to try and knock Perry from 3 to 2, he can just super combo, discard Perry's hand, and win with the double strike.
Exactly. So I think what we're going to see here is we're going to see him take this, go down to 2, and then we're going to see Danny play the Masked Saiyan, and we're going to force Perry to use the Grandpa Gohan to block the Masked Saiyan, so the cell can go through.
Yep. All right. Perry, though, with a very smart play with this Grandpa Gohan. We don't see Storm players use it as a blocker very often.
That is what we call a desperation play, Dusty.
Is that what we call that?
It is.
Okay.
Ooh, comboing and unyielding. That's how we know the quality of Perry's hand right now.
And this Sensu Bean.
We may actually see Danny just pass here another turn.
I was just about to say that, actually.
Because what's going to happen is that leader's going to swing. He's going to activate that Shocking Death Ball. That's going to pop the Gohan and open up the floodgates for an aggressive push next turn.
And this is already a bad spot for Perry. I mean, he's just trying. I mean, anytime a Storm player uses unyielding on your turn, you're winning. That's a good spot to be in.
So he actually combos the Grandpa Gohan here.
Ooh. Oh, Gohan, nice. So Gohan's coming in.
That's looking scary.
Yeah, this is 15,000 if he takes a life crits.
Ooh, with coercion. Not something I expected.
I didn't expect that either. That's usually not in Storm decks. Usually they favor Flying Nimbus. Yeah, Danny's just going to pass here. 3 open energy.
Has a Shocking Death Ball in hand.
Didn't take the life either. Good play by Danny.
Because he had that ability to choose.
Yeah. Yeah, he could have took a life if he just wanted a card for some reason, but...
So we've seen no less than 5 1-drops Perry's played so far. So the chances of him having another one is pretty unlikely.
So this is 15,000 to 5,000. Krillin into Gohan. Perry trying desperately to find some way to get out of this predicament he finds himself in.
I'm wondering if Danny actually sided out the majority of his Super 17 chain.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
We saw game 1.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not familiar with the Super 17 versus Storm matchup too much, but I could see sideboarding that out for more defensive cards. It seems okay.
We saw he sided in at least 6 to 7 blue cards, right? So something has to give on that front. And I don't think it was his primary cell chain.
Yeah.
So do you think Danny's going to take this?
I think against Storm, it's okay to take as few damage as you can, but also getting 2 cards isn't terrible either. So
he's feeling himself.
Yeah. Unless
the end of turn draw.
Ooh. I'll say one of the things I learned very quickly in set 1 was that if you're worried about dying, it's always better to combo out of the first attack because the second attack your opponent's almost always going to combo more.
Correct.
So if you want to beat 1 or 2, it's a lot better to beat the first one.
So what I'm really curious on here is Danny actually has the cards to do another cell chain. He could hard cast his 5-drop, and then if he has another cell in the deck, rank up to 7.
Oh, just another Gohan. This will take Danny to 1 life here. That means Danny is feeling like he can win the game here.
So
Perry with 5 cards in hand.
Danny's hoping that Perry baits out that Crusher Ball because that's going to allow the Masked Saiyan to go in for the second swing.
Okay, Gohan
So
coming
the
in.
appeal of Krillin over Hirudegarn and Storm, if you get hit with Chain Attack Xeno, or if you get attacked or get hit by Cell Chain, you're able to recover more effectively. I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to argue that this leader is actually better for the matchup than Hirudegarn would. I think that this game would be even more lopsided otherwise.
Oh, you think so?
So he does, yeah. So he does hit the 7-cost cell. That's going to bring him down to 3. What I suspect is going to happen next is he's going to attack with the leader. He's going to combo every card in his hand. And then assuming that goes through, he's down to 2 life. Took the crit, so that he's down to, 2-3 cards in hand. Or I guess it would be 3 cards in hand. And we got game.
Got game? Easy peasy. Perry's at 3 right now. If he takes this, he goes to 2. Danny could just threaten lethal with Cell. Just trying to get some cards out of his hand. Perry with, I think, 5 cards. He takes it and does go to 2.
Ooh. Oh, I thought he played the cell chain. He comboed the cell. Sorry for the confusion there.
right? He must have the He must have the double strike combo card here. Danny has in hand, or he's just trying to knock his opponent down to 1 life.
I think that's what we're seeing. Alrighty. Oh, Dimension Magic, shutting this down. However, we have another Mass Saiyan here. And Danny's going to have to sit hard on another negate to have a shot. Or Perry's going to sit hard on the negate, which I think he has actually.
Yeah, so.
So this is going to be a heartbreaker if that's a Wiss's Coercion I see in his hand. Pressure Ball is going to put Danny on the back foot, and I don't know if he comes back from this.
How many cards is in Perry's hand right now? 1. All right, see if Perry will probably neglect the charge here. Just play Mira. There's
Oh,
game.
and we auto scoop there.
Jeez, what a turnaround by Perry. That kind of came out of nowhere.
All those negates, I don't know if they were on Danny's radar. So we saw 2 to 3 copies of Crusher Ball.
Right.
We saw 2 to 3 copies of Wiss's Coercion, and we saw Dimension Magic on that last turn as well.
Jeez.
So if I'm Danny, I'm probably shifting. If I took out my 16 chain, I'm probably finding a way to move back into it, at least to the extent of having the 3 drop and being able to play the Infernal Machine on
Right,
turn 3.
right.
I don't know if I'm focusing on the Super 17, the 6 drop. That's probably a little bit too risky.
But you're just trying to get that negate up there.
Right, exactly. However, Danny is on the play again, and what that may mean is he should get a chance to resolve a Cell Chain if he draws appropriately.
Yeah, it's really weird that he kind of just like sideboarded and then almost like control, you know? But I think Danny would have been okay if he would have played that maybe just a little differently. Like if he wouldn't have went kind of all in that turn, I think he probably could have survived another turn or so. But I don't know, he had Mira, so maybe not. I mean, if he has Champa Mira, he can't get through it.
Yeah, on the play being a huge difference. Where I think it's objectively unfavorable if the Storm deck is going first. But I think when we look at Danny being able to Cell Chain and being able to reliably make it to turn 3, I could see this matchup being close to evenish. I would still argue slightly Perry favored, but Danny is far from out in the set.
Oh, no. Absolutely not. I would say that androids are maybe a little bit more favored going first.
Danny representing Ultimate Guard with his big Sidewinder deck box.
The shot's with our shot. You'll get it. Just talk about mana. There's a mana rep feature match area because of a shot. Just talk about it.
So if I'm Perry, I don't think I'm going to be side decking too significantly. I think we have a pretty good spread. We see a Bandai rep here checking out the stream.
Yeah, we have a Bandai rep here. Just check out the stream. They've been here in full force today. They've been really asking for player feedback. Check out the stream. They have a bunch of announcements coming this weekend. I mean, Bandai's just been here in full force, and honestly, none of this would be possible without them. Like I said, if you guys could just see this area, it's insane. It has cards everywhere. Like you can see in the back there, all the sets up. We have giant, like full size cards, like almost like life size cards. We have freaking giant screens, like projector screens up. I mean, it's just been so much fun. People have had a blast here.
So much fun. Hey, thanks for the shout out, Gravity Boost. Appreciate it. Alrighty, so we're setting up for game 3.
Game 3.
Danny
Here we go.
Danny Hype going first. So what are going to be the pivotal cards here as Danny is trying to find a way to make it to that elusive turn 3?
Well, there's a lot of key cards here. Shocking Death Ball, Sensu Bean, Whis' Coercion, any kind of defense. What Danny's looking for here is just defense. The higher life total he can stay at, the better against Storm. Even if Perry is transitioning to this more control deck, he still does have the Storm package. And so it is possible, even if Perry runs out of gas, if he does get Danny low enough, it could put Danny in a situation where Danny can't progress his board state without fear from dying.
Right. Yeah, so and it sounds like Danny's game plan is going to be do whatever he can to live. He's probably not even going to make plays on turn 1 or 2, and then he's gonna dive heavily into Cell Chain and hope that the Cell Chain helps him recover. And Perry's job is going to be to find a way to mitigate that. He may focus more on using Grandpa Gohan so he doesn't have to to draw so much life so he can mitigate post-cell chain. He may focus on unloading on his turn 2 just to use those extra unyieldings to use extra energy. I think that is a modification that if Perry pivoted on, I think the matchup could easily turn in his favor.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Traditional Android charge of picking a 110 for turn 1.
Yeah.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Yep. Is showing Shocking Death Ball. Looks like he does have in his hand. Here's his first card, so. All right, successor for probably Bardock.
Probably Bardock at this point. He needs to make sure he gets enough cards in hand that he can get his turn 2 going.
Right.
But again, not enough that he's going to auto lose to Perfect Force Cell resolving.
Yeah, there it is. Now, something Perry could do here is just play Bardock and then immediately swap to Goten. That way you're protecting your Bardock from Shocking Death Ball.
Again, Shocking Death Ball being one of the new cycles of cards where you're able to play these negates without tapping energy. We saw a little bit of that in the previous set, but what I really like about the card is it really covers a lot of the deck's weaknesses, which is aggressive decks.
All right, so we're going to pull Shocking Death Ball up here. Fantastic card.
So the big focus point here is that you need to get 5 cards into the discard before Shocking Death Ball is live. Now, one of the downsides to going first is he won't get a chance to swing with his leader. Those 2 mills from the Super 17 is pivotal in turning Shocking Death Ball on the mind.
Now, did Perry attack with Bardock or no?
As well, when a mat number
Looks
1 is ready
like
to
he has
start.
7 life. I'm not sure if he did.
When a mat number 1 is ready to start. Please
Just like
report
Perry did that, though. He just protected his Bardock. Smart play.
So we're taking another hit. So we're really hoping... I expect him to charge a blue here, assuming that he drew one. But he's hesitating, so that's
he
pretty
is.
unlikely. So no, his only attacks were with the leader and with the Goten.
All right, charging Sensu Bean. Attacking 10,000 and 10,000. Android. Super 17 into Goten here. Gets a burst 2 and draw a card.
So we got the 2 mills. Unfortunately, milling that Android 20 is probably something that he doesn't want to see.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for sure.
But at least he didn't hit a cell chain, right?
Right.
Lesser of 2 evils.
Right.
Wow. And Perry taking that.
Yeah, just letting his Goten die.
Very wild, especially when he... So what do you think that says about the quality of Perry's hand?
Well, I would say that either Perry has multiple Gotens in hand, so he doesn't care to let one go, or he has a pretty bad hand, bunch of negates.
That could be feasible. It also could be that he actually has a lot of unyieldings in his hand, and the unyielding
sure.
the unyieldings is going to be key on this turn
Right.
for dropping his hand, so he
Absolutely.
can mitigate the impact of cell.
No, very good call.
So you see the Krillin trigger. He's going to pick up a card.
Ooh, that's not good. That is, you hate to see that.
You do.
That is maybe the most value possible from the Shocking Death Ball here.
So full power energy actually still having a lot of validity in this format.
Yeah.
If you're not playing a green leader, you don't get the benefit of playing Shocking Death Ball. So
Absolutely.
full power energy still being relevant.
What do you think about playing both in this deck? I know one of the Hill Twins is on that too, just playing 4/4. You think that's maybe a little too defensive? Or?
Yeah, my last version had 4 and 2.
Oh, 4/2, sure.
Essentially, I am playing the full power energies as additional copies of Death Ball, because in a matchup like this, I always want it.
Right.
How much time is left in stream?
We're not sure. We're not sure,
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
Honestly, we don't have it.
We don't have it. Sorry.
Something we are prioritizing with this stream is to get the stream matches started as soon as possible.
Yes.
So that the stream matches and the rest of the field are all ending games at the same time.
Absolutely. That is our goal. We're definitely trying to get more efficient. You know, we try to improve the stream every stream. That's our goal, is to try to find ways to improve the stream, not only for the viewers, but for the players as well.
Correct. So something I don't like seeing here is Danny is hesitating to make a play. That says to me that he doesn't have the full chain.
He's
And we
just
see a
passing.
pass. We see a pass with 3. That is very scary.
It's also possible that Danny does have the chain. He's just waiting until he can untap, maybe. Like, maybe he doesn't want to play it and be tapped out with it.
Peter Katani won his round 1 game. He is currently playing Android 17 set 2 leader.
Both players with what seems to be pretty lackluster hands. Or maybe awkward hands, just awkward hands.
Right. So we did see that Dimension Banisher Fu that we talked about in the side game 2. He did bring that in as additional removal. But he did win with a Mira as well. So because we saw Scientist, Mira, and Banisher Fu all in Perry's deck game 2. I'm really curious to see what that lineup looks like.
Danny choosing to negate the leader attack with no value.
Androids are appropriately represented in this format. There are a lot of reputable players that are on the deck. There are a lot of non-reputable players that are playing it. But I wouldn't say it's the most popular deck in the room by any stretch of the imagination. Danny's leader, however...
Ooh, Perry just passing.
He's in a super minority. What is his hand?
These hands must be super awkward, Richard. It's going to be...
So we see the 18.
I'd say this kind of playstyle favors androids quite a bit, though. So Perry's going to have to...
Super 17. Ooh, rough charge. Danny hoping... I think it's a 3-drop cell that he's really hoping to draw. So that might be the third 5-drop increasing evil cell that we've seen. That could put Danny in a very risky position where he may not be able to perfect force cell if he can't do it soon.
I think something Danny might need to do here before long is start thinking about letting himself get awakened. Oh, maybe
he may be doing that this turn, actually.
I mean, he can't afford to keep bursting.
Right.
Yeah, he's like you said, he's going to burst away his combo if he's not careful.
Right. I don't think I would have done this play though. One of the things that we're cognizant of is he has access to Pressure Ball. Pressure Ball hitting Gohan here would feel bad.
Yeah, but it's not the worst card in your deck to get Crusher Balled, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, it definitely stinks, but that is a Crusher Ball down. And Storm has to awaken him. He can't just sit back a bit, so
I'm trying to figure out what part of his combo Perry's missing out on. And I can't quite identify it.
Maybe just a swap target. Maybe he just doesn't have like a Bardock or
perhaps
a Grandpa.
Maybe he took out some of his Successor of Hopes to fit in all these overwhelm cards.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. We already seen it. We've seen him play one turn one, so it's true. Maybe he just like went from 4 to 2 or 3. Usually they need to run 3, right? So maybe he went from like 3 to 2 or something.
That's where most people are, somewhere between 3 and 4 copies right now. Since the advent of dependable dynasties and Goku in the deck. How does time work at this event? That is a fantastic question.
It is, yeah. So,
so
time works, the same as it always has. So when you go to time, the big change is that you only have 10 minutes to take your 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So unlike before, where you just had unlimited time to do so it could last 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you only have 10 minutes. And in those 10 minutes, if you haven't completed the game, it's just a draw. Correct. So it's that good compromise where you still get to play, you still get to finish your combos, you even get to play usually another turn or two, but there is a limit. Like, we're not going to be sitting here all day waiting for round 2 to finish.
So we see the Krillin going direct. He actually activated the critical on the Krillin leader.
And Danny took it with the 5.
He did. Lost a perfect force cell. I don't believe Danny's had an opportunity to look at his deck. I have a feeling that Danny's a little nervous about what cards are left because he's lost out on a lot of pieces at this point in the game.
Absolutely. Here, Perry trying to knock Danny to 3.
Yeah. This is actually pretty darn bold because if he does Cell Chain next turn, Scientist Boost his main recovery card.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he finally got to the Successor. I think an interesting thing to note is I believe that critical damage that he took earlier in the game, I think that put him down to 5 cards in his discard pile.
Yeah.
Which will turn on Shocking Death Ball. Danny never ceasing to amaze.
All right, gonna swap into.
Dependable Dynasty Son Goku.
Oh no, he changed his mind. He didn't get Gohan. He instead got Goku. Okay.
And that's why you're the best commentator in the game, Dusty.
Well, sometimes it's hard without hearing voices to know what's going on sometimes, but. Ooh, there's Bardock going from 4 to 3.
So that's a pretty good indicator that.
Right then. Let's
that
begin the experiment.
Nice. That's a pretty good indicator here that Perry's probably going to go for lethal this game. Or this turn, rather.
Oh, you think he's going to try for it this game?
I don't think I would have took that damage otherwise.
Okay. I trust you. Danny, it's still at 5, though. Perry, see, here's the thing, though. Perry's going to want to attack with Scientist Fu first to knock Danny from 5 to 3.
Right,
but if he does and he has Shocking Death Ball, he gets blown out again.
Super blow.
Right,
Yeah.
so he's going to have to attack with Goten, so Danny actually might just take this. Nope, there it is.
Oh.
We'll see if the Shocking Death Ball comes out. If it does,
Nope, he
no
passed
negates.
on the
All right,
negate, yeah.
all right, no negates.
That's unfortunate because that would have been a back.
That would, yes,
play.
that would have been a backbreaking play. Danny goes
I
to
believe I
3.
might have saw a Sensu Bean on that last draw, and I think it was a Sensu Bean and an Infernal 17. Goten hitting a Battering Laser, a Successor of Hope, and some other card. And I believe he put back the Successor of Hope. Yep, he got Dependable Dynasty Goku, I believe.
No, we still here, guys. That was the main event, Mike. Oh, thank you so much, Goopzilla. Appreciate it, man.
What a homie.
Okay, there's the. Yeah, guys, he had 2 unyielding, guys.
Yeah.
He tapped 1 for Fu and then 1 for the swap, and then untapped 2. So
Well, that was definitely proper sequencing.
yeah, there was no untap, no extra attack.
It's catching up to itself.
So we see another Bardock. Perry goes down to 2. Again, he's definitely going for lethal this turn. Luckily, at least Danny has a lot of 110s in his hand. Should be able to use those to try to not lose this turn. On the flip side, we did see Perry charge a Battering Laser at the beginning of the turn.
Ooh, okay.
Which may be evident that he has a second one in his hand.
Sure. Something that Danny has to be. Danny does have a Whis in hand, though.
Danny deliberating how important it is.
Sensu, this is 15.
Dragon Ball Super players, that is time in the round. You now have 10 minutes to go through your end of match procedures.
So we are
0,
officially
1,
going
2,
into
and 3.
time,
If you need
which
assistance
means
with this,
there
please
are-
raise your hand and call for
they
a
have
judge.
10 minutes to
Again,
finish
Dragon
2
Ball
turns
Super
apiece.
players, you now have
So
10
Perry will
minutes
be
to
turn
complete
1 and
end
will
of
go
match
Perry,
procedures.
Danny, Perry, Danny. And the game will end in a draw if that second turn Danny doesn't take it.
All right, there's Videl. Grandpa Gohan. See what he decides to switch into here.
Probably dependable. Yep.
Looks like he's just trying to get Danny to 2 life here. That's what,
I think
is what
so.
his goal is here. Danny should defend this if he can. But he does have the negate for Mira. Danny's saying no negate. Do we see a Battering Laser in Perry's hand? That's what we have to. That's what we're looking for.
I might not.
I don't actually even see Mira in Perry's hand, to be honest.
Yeah, and I did see him put a battering laser on the bottom of the deck with one of his Goten searches.
I don't think I see a battering. So that Danny could be good right here.
Here's the thing, though, is if you're Danny, you probably have to assume he does, though.
Right, absolutely, right. That's what makes this game awesome, is that you still have to worry about what can kill you. Well, that's true. He played Scientist 2 this turn. Yeah, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Thank you, chat. Yeah, so actually he can't play Mira. So Danny doesn't have to worry about Mira.
Right.
Danny's going to take it and go to 2 here.
So it looked like Danny was running the Super 17 chain in his first game. Not sure if he still has it for 2 and 3. It looks like he took out at least part of it.
So Perry's at 2 as well. Okay. 2 to 2. Danny's surviving.
Shoot, life. I'm going to guess there's some negates in there, some flying Nimbus. If Danny's going to win this game, I think he has to Cell Chain, and he has to find a way to clear the board. And I don't think he thinks he can do it. Charging that Coercion, he thinks he has to. He doesn't think he can live another turn.
Okay.
So what I think we're going to see is we're going to see Infernal 17 try to go for lethal here.
Could you check how much life Perry's at for me? Thank you.
I think he's at 2, but it's weird that Danny would swing in here unless he's just trying to get an extra card in hand to go for a game here.
Danny picking up that card in a pretty courageous fashion. I think he's really confident in the card he just drew, actually.
Okay. Yeah, he's at 2. Okay, we got that right. All right, I was just making sure. Our boy Marcus hooking us up.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I think Danny could have triggered his leader ability. You finally see the cell.
Uh-oh. If I'm Perry, uh-oh.
I don't know, man. If he has one negate for the cell, I think it's lights out. Because I know for a fact he has a Coercion in his hand.
I think it's lights out?
Because that's how he's going to try to go through.
Is that Mass Santa hand, though?
Is it?
I think so. One of his back cards there. Kills a Goten, draws a card. What is it? Come on. Drew another Whis, it looks like. So drew a Whis' Incursion off that. Not going to help him here.
Not at all. So, Super 17 has the effect that once per turn, if your opponent has more than 10 cards in hand, they can discard until they have 9.
Yeah.
It looked like Perry had somewhere between 10 or 11 at the beginning of that turn. So Danny missed an opportunity to snatch a couple extra cards. But maybe his logic was it didn't matter because he was going to Cell Chain nonetheless.
Right. That's true. That's a good point.
It's a really good play. Danny can do a really good play.
All right. Marcus, the commentator over here, on the side says that he has some 16s in hand, so he can actually just attack with leader here into a battle card and just discard his hand and then swing in with Cell to win.
Right.
After Cell Chain.
What if he resolves a Nimbus?
You still get one more attack.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Now your opponent's down to 2 cards in
Yeah.
hand.
Right. I mean, if I was him, I would just be holding all my negates right now. Like I know.
Right, sure. You just have to
see them
survive.
as
Yeah,
four.
absolutely, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. The 16s to get rid of the negates.
Yeah.
Because he'll swing lead into a battle. He's not going to negate, and then you just go 16.
That's true. Are you going to negate into a battle card? You think so? You think you're going to go?
So this is really on Danny's ability to convince Perry what to know and what to not.
So did Danny choose? I think Danny chose the Goku, right?
It might have been the Vidal, but yeah.
Okay. All right. So no negate.
No negate goes
Shoo.
through. Danny
Shoo.
might just steal this game, everybody.
He does have at least 2. Look, he has at least 2 super combos in hand. Discard 1 for me, please, Perry. What are you going to choose?
We see the first
Flying
negate.
Nimbus. How about the second one?
Perry kicking himself right now.
Oh, Perry's like, I see what's happening here. I don't like what you're doing here. Has to choose something. Chooses Mira. And that's it. Now, if this last card is a negate, he has Mass Saiyan, though. He has Mass Saiyan.
Right.
I think he has Mass Saiyan. I'm pretty confident he has Mass Saiyan. So if he negates this,
So that's gonna
he
be
just Mass Saiyan wins.
Dimension Magic. He's contemplating he's going to take a life. Does he need the extra card in his
Ooh,
hand?
I like this. Smart play by Perry. Takes the life. Takes the life. Last card, I think, is Mass Saiyan. It wasn't. He just passes.
So we have at least one negate in Danny's hand. What a play. This is actually a wild game. I'm so excited to see how this ends.
What did Perry draw? Is Perry going to attack with Videl?
He did draw a battle card. He would have played it right out of the gate and got a pump. To pump it? That's
No, he
a little
pumped Krillin. Okay, he pumped
No,
Krillin.
nope.
You
Vidal
can't-
can only pump battle cards.
Okay, did she just pump herself to draw?
She just tapped, no targets, drew a card.
Okay. Because you can't pump herself either, right? She can't pump herself, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Or she might be able
Well,
to.
but she's
it's
tapped
irrelevant
anyway.
if she
Okay,
can.
but she
Yeah.
can't. Okay.
This is going to be close. I am not sold that this is over.
I don't know what's going to happen.
Do you think Danny has to negate here?
Does Danny have to negate here? I don't know, man. This is scary. He says no negate.
Rip. Can we get there?
Gets there, stops it. And I think
Nope.
I
can't see the math. So where are we at? 15, 25, 35. I think it was at 40K. 15, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45.
I think so.
Yeah,
I mean, it's over. But I don't,
we can't tell the math.
Yeah.
I think Danny had the cards.
Hey guys, it's Marcus here. Dusty's actually going to find out who actually got that game. I wasn't watching. I was doing something on the other
So it looks
side.
like Danny took that by 5K.
Did he really? Was it Danny off of
I
that,
believe it was
that
Danny
combo?
by 2-1.